Back with Bubba O'Neill. It's the first day of practice for the winter season, and one thing I'm wondering from you is in your coaching days, when you go into a first week of practice, how much is it mapped out for you? How much was mapped out, or what did you want to accomplish from this first week?
Uh, uh, every single second is mapped out. Your first month or so, you're not thinking about games. What you're trying to do is get everything in to make your team as competitive as possibly can be. Today, and I'm not speaking for the coaches because I don't know what they have planned specifically, but if I were going into it, we'd start with our break offense and secondary break, and that's where we'd start, along with a lot of drill work and conditioning without the kids knowing that they're conditioning. I think that's the other part of it, because you want to work on that. You want to be thinking instead of worrying about whether or not they're tired, and I think those things you want to try to get through in that first week or so. I think our kids, for the most part, have done a lot of work over the spring and summer, and they're prepared. They're prepared to hit the ground running, and our coaches will have every single day of this week and probably for the next month mapped out. We would actually go into Christmas break knowing that there were things that we needed to cover during Christmas break as well.
How much of the first week is about setting the tone for the expectation, the level of expectation of what the team needs to do, as opposed to, like you said, getting conditioning, getting that offense in the sense that if you don't have a tone set, is it more difficult to try to ramp things up if you don't do it from the first practice out?
Yeah, there's no question. You want to get your baseline in. I said we're going to get our offense. We're going to get our break offense, secondary break, our man defense. We're going to have the foundation, and you set the tone right there. This is what we expect. We're not a running team. We're a sprinting team. We play man defense. We have a responsibility, but we move as one. And that groundwork that you put in those first few days will last you maybe not only this season, but for those younger kids for the next 3 or 4 seasons that they're in your program. You set that tone. But what's great about this week, it's not about the coaches. It's about that leadership you have in your gym. It rises to the top. It's an amazing thing when you have a great group of seniors coming in. That leadership rises to the top, and the tone is set by them. Most of the time, it's not set by the coaches.
Finally, it's a way that they're kind of limping into this one, but nonetheless, Wyoming is hosting the Mountain West Conference Championship football game this weekend at War Memorial Stadium against San Diego State. Yeah, it's coming off a little bit slow end of the season, losing a big one to New Mexico, and the injuries are getting a little piled up there, especially on the defensive side. But nevertheless, Wyoming has gone from a 2-win season to having the chance to be Mountain West Conference champions.
I will only say this, and I watched the game on Saturday night, and obviously I was as disappointed as anybody else watching that. But knowing that you're already in the championship game, I was wondering if maybe there was a little bit of a letdown. That doesn't matter. What I see as going forward for the University of Wyoming, one, they have a great coach, and we knew he was going to be a great coach when he came in. He has great kids. He has kids that represent this state just like they should. They're hard-nosed. I look at Logan Wilson, a former Natrona kid that plays on that defensive side, and he's as tough as nails and does exactly, loyal dog, exactly what he's asked to do, and he does it very, very well. Harshman's there doing the same thing. But you look at that team and you look at that coach, and there is no team in this country that right now represents their state better than the University of Wyoming football team. Yes, disappointing on Saturday night. Yes, we'll be extremely proud no matter what happens on this Saturday versus San Diego State. They're going on to a bowl game, and something we as a state can get really excited about.
That's Bubba O'Neill, another week with the AD. Thank you very much, and we'll be back with you next week.
Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming to see me and letting me speak.